If you are a child-free woman, or if you have one child like me, what prompted you to come to that decision? I don't talk about myself because it's not something that I tend to do on this internet street. I guess today I'll say something a bit, teeny tiny bit about myself. I know I'm nosy about you guys. I might as well let you in on how my mind works and that teeny tiny bit of my life, because there are a lot of so many details I have left out of this particular conversation that I don't care to get into right now, because I don't wanna. But with regard to just this specific topic of children, yeah, just the one child is enough for me. I grew up being told by women around me that a woman should only have the number of children that she knows she can take care of. Life happens, and as life happens, you need to be in a position where you as a woman should be able to take care of your child. So men, on the other hand, are more open to having many more children as compared to women. Of course, there are very many reasons for that. One specific reason that men tend to be much more open to having children is because they have a wife. They know that that raising children is labor intensive, physical labor, emotional labor, psychological labor, spiritual labor. A man will be open to having whatever number of children because they know they can always defer the raising of the children to their wives. Whereas for us women, our apprehension comes in knowing that whatever number of children we have, the labor again of raising that child goes to us, and that's why it's important for us as women to actually be very deliberate in terms of the number of children that we have. I mean, if I had a wife, I I guarantee you that my apprehension to having more children will likely not be as high. My reason for having only one child is pretty simple. No rocket science here. I always wanted to have either no children or one child. So one child was the maximum for me. I knew that one child is what I can take care of, is who I can pour into physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, in all aspects. And so one child was it for me. There's no like this big philosophical thing that led me to deciding to have only one child. It's just that's what I am comfortable with. Also, I have to mention that even while I was growing up, I never had this idea, or I never really had this urge to get married or to want children or to, like that was not my life's purpose. I knew that if I'll get married, I'll get married. If not, like it never defined me. Married, children never defined me. So it was something I was open to it either happening or not happening. I was very contented with myself. I still am very contented with myself. So for me, marriage was not something that I was aspiring to in that sense. Children are not something I was aspiring to in that sense. For me, it was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At the end of the day, I'm very happy in my own company. And so for me, having a spouse or having a child was just a bonus to what I already have. And so so having children for me, specifically the one child that I have, I love her to bits, but I can't imagine myself with any more children, to be very honest. And not to speak smack about people with many children, but I cannot bring in a child into this world who feels unwanted, and so I know for a fact that if I were to have another child, I mean, it's never going to happen. I knew and I know that I was not going to have the best response to having another child, psychologically particularly. I just knew it. So there was no point bringing a child into this world and then making them feel like, they were never meant to be here. And again, to each their own. I'm not trying to tell you guys that, your decision to have many children is right or wrong, or your decision not to have children is right or wrong, or your decision to only have one child is right or wrong. To each their own. It's your body, your choice, your life, your choice. And for me, the choice was to only either have no children, I was okay with that, or the one child. And since I'm at the one child, I'm very contented. I must mention that. I did consider being a surrogate for somebody. They did not come to me, but it was something that had crossed my mind, and I wanted to offer to be their surrogate because of something they were going through. That is still something I can actually do. I don't see it as a big deal, because in that sense, that is, I don't mind carrying somebody else's child as a surrogate. Let me say that. Raising them is something else. different, but being a surrogate is something I am very open to. No, this is not an application. I'm not trying to tell anybody who wants a surrogate to come look for me. Absolutely not. It's something that if I wanted to do, or if I saw somebody who genuinely needed a surrogate, I would actually offer myself to do so. Okay, so this is not an advertisement for surrogacy. Let me be clear. Okay, but yes, I've always been open to being a surrogate. If you would have asked me where I saw myself in terms of marriage, I would have told you that I would either not get married at all, and if I would, it would be in my 50s, and whoever I'd marry will basically just be for companionship. You know, like a retirement type situation going on. And so I saw myself being this stepmom in my 50s, married to, honestly, to a retiree, and we'll just spend our sunset years as companions to each other. I did not have this grand idea about marriage and children and family and all these other things, because I was very contented with myself, and I never felt the need or the rush to rush into marriage, because I did not see it as something that I aspired to necessarily, but I was open to it. I was open to it, but I was not aspiring to it. I was not aspiring to marriage. I was not aspiring to children. I was not aspiring to all these other things. I have always been asked also that, what if I met somebody and they were the love of my life, and then, you know, they have inspired me to have more children? Frankly,